Okay, 15. All right, 1.1. Oh, look at that. We're starting the beginning of a new chapter. This is the number line. Yes or no? Are we familiar with this the hashtag symbol being number? I'm going to use it all the time. Hashtag is literally the same thing as number. It's also called the pound sign. But oftentimes, I'm going to abbreviate the word number for this right here. Okay, so all of you should be on page number 5 here. So you guys are familiar with the number line, yes?
Yeah.
If I go on here and I go, hey, look at all these. You guys know that it goes from, we'll go with that. So you guys know 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, yes?
Yeah.
And you are also familiar with, no, I don't want that, I want this. If I do a number line that's horizontal, which order the numbers go? What goes down here?
Negative.
Yeah, I'm gonna go right here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. What about right here? What goes here? I'm just gonna point. You guys can say it out loud.
-1, -2, -4, -5, -4.
-1, -2.
Okay, this is the big distinction I want to make about negative numbers. When you go down here to negative numbers, remember, it should have 1 on either side. Because -1, -2 is farther. -1, -2, -3, -4. Remember when you do vertical, that you remember that the top number goes on top. It sounds natural, right? It reads like a thermometer. It should be simple. Kids forget it all the time. You guys can be the class that bedazzles and surprises me about this, okay? But remember, 4 is going, the highest number goes on top, lowest number goes on bottom, and it keeps on going further. As it goes further and further negative, those are lower numbers, right? -4 degrees is lower than -2 degrees. Even though we think of 4, I need you in your desk. David Cesar, desk. Even though we think of -4, if 4 we think of as being bigger than 2, but -4 is less than -2. I cannot stress this enough because kids make this mistake over and over and over and over again. Think, would you rather be negative, if you like warm weather, would you like it to be -4 or -2 outside? You want it to be -2, right? So we think of when you're comparing negative numbers, -4 and -2, which one is bigger?
-2.
This one, right? So you remember that's the bigger sign, greater than. So -4 is less than -2, or you could read it the other way around. -2 is greater than -4. Does this make sense so far?
Yeah.
What doesn't make sense? You didn't raise your hand.
Everything doesn't make sense.
So you don't understand what a number line is? You've never heard of it before?
Oh yeah, I understand what number line is.
Okay, so you know that -4 is less than -2.
Obviously.
Okay, so right here I'm saying, are you familiar with this symbol? Greater than or less than?
Oh yeah, the alligator.
Yeah, so it's eating the bigger number. -2 is higher, so it's the bigger number than
Well,
-4.
there's still negative.
You get it now?
There's more. There's less than 0. I don't know.
But how is -2 bigger than -4 when -4 is? Because -4 is like if we're talking about outside, -4 is colder and -2 is not. It's like
Yeah.
hotter.
Like you said, think if you're outside. Do you want it to be -2 outside? Is -2 the greater, the higher temperature, or is -4 the higher temperature, the greater temperature? Which one is the greater or higher temperature? So -2 is, so that means even though you think, hey, 4 is bigger than 2, right? When it's negative, everything flips. If both numbers are negative, everything is going to flip. Because closer to 0 means greater. Closer to 0 means greater. Got it? Yes?
Not trying to get sidetracked or anything, but
Every time you say that, you try to sidetrack us.
but it's not. Why are negative numbers even in math and not only in temperature? Because I mean, 0 is basically nothing.
You'll understand the further we get.
Speed.
But for right now, you understand the negative thing. I will get to it. Think about it in terms of like if you owe somebody money, then you have negative money. So like if you have $50 at the bank and you write a check for $100, you will have negative $50 in your checking account. Actually, they'll penalize you, and then you'll owe them more than just the $50 because you're not allowed to write a check for money you don't have. And if you do that multiple times, you get really, really, really big fines. So that's a huge reason. Don't go in debt. Especially if you have credit cards, credit card debt is the number one reason that people have debt they cannot pay off in the United States. So if you're someone who cannot handle, if you're someone who is not really, really good, and some of you know, who here knows like, hey, there's a good chance I'm gonna spend money that I don't have.
Yes, sir.
You should not get a credit card. No credit card, no credit card, no credit card, no credit card, no credit card.
I'm getting a credit card.
You can get it, but you guys think that you guys can handle it? You're not gonna spend money that you don't have.
I'll give you $1 if you can not say.
I'm gonna get a card. I'm gonna use my
Okay, down. Who here thinks like, hey, I handle money pretty well, I'm not gonna spend it if I don't have it? Okay, so you three especially, and I mean this in a really nice way, but the rest of you are more likely to not make as much money as they are. Because when it comes to money and how you invest it, how you use it, people who are not good at spending, they have a better chance, it's easier for them to not buy things if they have more self-control when it comes to that. You can invest your money, you can get better credit cards, which my credit card, some people pay for their credit cards. My credit card pays me 2% of what I use it. So if I spend $100, my credit card gives me $2 to spend that money.
What?
Now the only reason it does that is because I showed my credit card company, hey, I can do these things. Like I can do these things and I won't abuse the credit card. Because, just wait, if you abuse the credit card, are you gonna get approved for a credit card that has benefits like that? No, you're not going to. So if you three have good habits with your credit cards, you can get better credit cards like that faster. If you have poor spending habits, you're never going to get a credit card like that, one. And two, and actually more importantly, you're going to have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of debt.
I don't want to be in debt when I grow up.
And once you have credit card debt, it is very hard to get rid of it unless you are super, super conscientious, which you can be, but that's just like, hey, a word to the wise.
I have
Be careful.
$18,000 in credit card debt.
Stop. Yes?
So, my mom told me that she's in debt with her high school. How can you be in debt with your high school?
I don't know. And to answer your question, filing for bankruptcy completely ruins lives. Completely. So does it cancel your debt? Yes, but you will have a hard time with money basically for the rest of your life. It is almost, if you can at all pay off your debt, that is universally the better option. Filing for bankruptcy ruins lives. It ruins families. You do not want to look for filing for bankruptcy as something that you want to look for. You can go up and look what happens to people who file for bankruptcy.
My grandma did it, and she's fine.
Okay, so she's maybe one of the people that managed to bounce back from it, but it's very, very rare. I'd also actually really like to talk to your grandparents then, because that means they're really impressive people if you can come back from filing for bankruptcy. All right. So 1.1 we talked about. Those are positive numbers. Oh, they're positive numbers. They're also called what numbers?
Negative. Positive. Whole numbers.
Yes. Whole numbers. Whole numbers.
Big brain. Just a big brain type.
Those are whole numbers. Positive numbers, whole numbers. If you go to page, because they're not fractions, they're wholes. So it's like you don't have a half of a pizza. That's a fraction. You have a whole pizza. All right, flip page to 6 in your books.
Alright, we're moving pages.
Draw a horizontal number line to represent the numbers between 5 and 12. So what they're doing here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they said draw a horizontal number line to represent the whole numbers between. So horizontal, 5 and 12. So the bottom, what number goes on the bottom?
That's not horizontal.
Negative.
Oh, you're right. We'll do a horizontal one and one of these then.
Why are there arrows?
Because I accidentally put arrows on there.
They're pretty good numbers.
If you can't speak using proper English, you don't need to speak at all. What number goes on the bottom?
Negative.
5. 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay, and
Y'all are
5,
looking
6,
close.
7, 8, 9, 10,
Wait, I have
11,
a book.
Y'all are looking
I can't
12.
read.
So, when it says numbers between 5 and 12, does that include 5 and 12?
No.
No. So, between does not. This means not.
He spelled between wrong. That's fine. Bro, Kira.
Between does not mean includes. So, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You want to come 3? Do that for 5 through 12. Over there.
You just earned yourself a V-Buck.
Oh, you missed 12.
What?
You missed 12. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I was making sure you paid attention. Yeah, so between does not mean that includes. If they were to say, can I put a new copy of this one? No? Okay. What if they said,
It doesn't disappear. It just disappears.
numbers from 5 to 12? What if it was numbers from 5 to 12? Come on, hurry it up. You get 2 seconds to come up here. Then we'll go to the next person.
Run,
Take one of them.
From 5 to 12?
Yep.
Pocket Bryson's.
I almost could.
Okay, and someone else.
Okay, no more throwing. Nobody else can catch except this person.
He's doing like a mini across the
And
field.
he's going to be coming up here a lot more than everybody else.
No more throwing the pen. Unless it's for justice. Otherwise, you're gonna have to
Okay, thank you.
Done this to me.
Bring it down. Bring it down. In your desks. I got 4 of you who need to be in your desks now back there. No. No more out of your desk at all. At all. For any reason. If you got questions, you can come and ask them to me later on things. You cannot keep you're distracting people. Your volume is up too high. You're not allowed to talk to other people. If you've got questions on stuff, you can work on your stuff. When you are done with it, you can work on something else. You can go back and look on other things. You can come up here and say, hey, or you can go look in your books. What past assignments do I need to do? But you are not allowed out of your desk anymore. Yes?
Can I have some cards?
Yep, you can come. You're done with everything? And, okay, go ahead. Okay. Bottom of page 6. Inequality. We already talked about this. What is it? What part did we already talk about that was an inequality? Yeah?
Isn't it equal, like, oh, the alligator symbol.
What's it called? It's not called the alligator symbol. It's not the technical name.
That's what we call it.
Pentagram.
Nope. Pent means 5, so there's no way it's a pentagram. Yeah?
No, greater and less than.
Yeah, the greater than and less than. Inequality, all it means, and you should be writing notes on this. I have very, very few people in in middle school, especially when we get to the 6th grade book, that don't take notes and do well on things. Don't be some person who's trying to prove me wrong. Take notes. You don't have stuff out, you're not taking notes. I see very few of what you're doing is taking notes. So greater than or less than, that is all that means. So on the bottom of it, it says, you can use a number line to compare whole numbers, so 35 is greater than 33. So if I say 35 is greater than 33, the other way would be to do what? Yeah?
33 is less than 35.
Yep. Do those mean anything different?
No.
No, they do not. They mean the exact same thing. if I were to say 110 is less than 250, yeah?
That's not. Or you would put the same facing the right.
Less than or greater than? This is greater than, that's less than.
No, it would be 110 is less than
250? Yes? No?
Yes.
Yes. Alright, guided practice. It says draw a horizontal number line to represent each set of numbers. Positive whole numbers less than 5. And then the next one, whole numbers greater than 9 but less than 14. And then it says a vertical number line to set each set of whole numbers. Odd numbers between 1 and 10. Positive numbers less than 15. So guided practice 1 through 4 on page 7. You guys got 2 minutes. Go.
I have small human tiny brain.
You guys just need to do what you guys already know how to do. Just do A and B. You don't need to do all the other stuff.
Don't come on my desk. Go. And stand there. Use your word. Just stand there.
I'm gonna try to. Ooh, oh, that's good.
Mr. Bernal,
Yeah,
can I explain something to Kian real quick?
you have 1 minute.
1 minute? What's positive whole numbers?
Positive means what? Greater than.
Positive minus 5 greater than 0.
Positive means greater than.
Positive
You're
means
dumb.
How do you know positive then?
Greater than what?
Why do we have to write a whole
Think
number
if the
line?
temperature.
Negative 3 and negative 2.
No, positive does not mean negative 3 and negative 2. Positive just means greater than. If the temperatures are in the positives today, they are in the. They're greater than.
0.
Greater than 0. So positive whole numbers are being greater than 0.
I'm so intelligent.
Yes, you're gonna have to do a lot of number lines for this.
No.
Thankfully, this is also very simple. All you need to do is distinguish. Do you know what the difference between horizontal and vertical is? Then this should be pretty simple for you.
Horizontal is like this, and vertical is like that.
All right, so number one, positive whole numbers less than 5. So if I put 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, someone tell me which numbers am I filling in? Yep. Okay.
Wait. What was
Positive whole numbers less than 5. Positive whole numbers less than 5. Nope, you gotta put dots on it. Dots on the whole thing. Nope. Positive whole numbers. It didn't say even whole numbers, it said positive whole numbers. These two are positive, but you have more positive whole numbers. Yep. And
it just says 1 through 5.
nope, it says less than 5. Yep. Okay. Do they include 0?
No,
Because 0 is not what?
Oh,
it's not whole
positive.
numbers.
And 5 is not included because,
It's less than 5.
yeah, it said less than 5. 5 is actually 5 itself. Number 2, whole numbers that are greater than 9 but less than 14. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, positive whole numbers greater than 9, less than 14. Got it?
Hey, good job.
Card with 2 hands.
Yeah, I did.
Justice was just like magic catching it out.
Nope. Evan.
Wait, what?
Greater than 9, I made it red.
Can't relate.
Yep. Why not 9? Why not 14?
Because
Yep.
it says from 9 to 15.
Well, actually, it says greater than 9. 9 is not greater than 9, but less than 14. 14 is not less than 14. So that means all the numbers in between. Number 3, odd numbers between 1 and 10.
No, I got it.
That's supposed to be a vertical number.
Ah, there you go. Although you did speak out of turn, I was trying to see if anyone could notice what went wrong. So what's wrong with this?
It's not vertical.
What's wrong with this? Yes?
It's not vertical.
Yeah, because it said a vertical number line between 1 and 10.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that's right. I'm at the top of the mountain.
Odd numbers
Brian, you catch
between
with
1.
one hand?
Odd numbers between 1 and 10.
You catch with one hand?
No, sir.
Listen closely. Odd numbers between 1 and 10.
Oh.
There's another one.
Agree, disagree?
There's one more.
Nope, you got it.
What is it?
Between 1 and 10. Is 1 between 1 and 10?
thought you said 3 1.
Nope. Odd numbers, read the book. Odd numbers between 1 and 10. Yes, that's everything he needs. Thank you.
Smash his
All right,
shot.
number 4.
The mic.
Positive odd numbers less than 15. 15, 16, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Yours? Here you go.
I'm so scared. This is actually kind of scary, just flying numbers.
Again, positive odd numbers
Oh.
less than 15. Positive odd numbers less than 15.
Oh, I caught it this time with 2 hands.
You catch it, then you trip.
Go ahead. Positive odd numbers less
Wait, odd numbers, not even?
is 14 an odd number?
No, only find all the odd numbers.
Positive odd numbers less than 15. Don't give any reaction until he's done.
Okay.
I'm gonna get this all wrong.
Nothing until he's done.
Wait,
Don't try to set him off.
which one's 7 or 8?
This is 8. This is 7.
How do I get rid of that one?
Next time, mine are not.
Thumbs up or down? Nope. Okay, so this is 9, this is 7, but then you went right underneath 7. Now part of this is what's wrong with, what's part of the reason you got this wrong? Yeah, it's uneven, poorly drawn number line. You guys have lines on your paper. I don't have lines on here. Use the lines that are on your paper, okay?
Oh, it's only for 5.
So this should be 5, this is 3, and it said, do we include number 1? Positive odd numbers less than 15? Yes, 1 does get included. You don't include 2, 4, 6, so on and so forth. I'm not going to erase all the other stuff on there though.
Is
Questions?
1 technically
No,
an even
I
number?
have.
Okay.
Is 0 an even number?
All right. 5 more minutes, guys. Okay. Can you guys do this for 5 more minutes with me?
Oh.
Yes.
Until what? When it's 5 over.
Then we're gonna be done. Can you do that for me? Okay. 5 more minutes. Bottom of page 7. Represent fractions, mixed numbers, decimals. Fractions, mixed. Well,
You know what a mixed number is?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. I know.
I do.
What's a
It's
number?
one mixed with a fraction.
okay. I need some examples of 2 examples. Give me 2 examples of fractions. Yep. Give me one.
At 1/2
And
and
1/8.
okay, mixed numbers. Yeah.
1.5.
1 1/2 and another one, Kira.
2 2/4.
Okay. But if you're actually doing this the correct way, you would make it
2 4
2 and
1/2.
2 1/2 because when you have fractions, you need to make sure they are
Even.
simplified, reduced. All right, decimal. Yeah, floppy arm.
0. Dot. 1.
Okay, one more.
0.100.
That's the same number.
No, 0.200.
0. Dot.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put that extra zeros on there. Do they mean anything?
No.
No, they don't.
Why said it?
So 0.1, 0.2.